Welcome back to Barbastella. Today we are doing wheels and tires and everything in between for every single detail you need to know. We're talking about wells, lugs, faces, the tire sidewall, the well. Well, this is the wheel well. I guess this is actually the wheel barrel and this is the wheel well. Or if you're in the UK, the wheel arches. But whatever. We've got our PNS brake buster, diluted about 3 to 1, and I like to start with the tire. This is the brush I use. It's a very stiff nylon bristle brush. This was, believe it or not, at the dollar store, so not a massive requirement, just something that can really get into the fibers of the tire. So I'm looking forward to making a review on the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions Hyperfoam. That stuff looks really great. I don't know if it'll replace PNS Brake Buster, but I still want to give it a try. So I'll go around the bottom, just prime it up, and I'll go around and I'll get a good layer and I'll let it sit. And if you let it sit, you'll see instantly that the browning just starts to melt off. You can see, especially right here, that brake buster is just melting that goop off. It is just brown before you even touch it with the brush. This is optional, but I like to get a good layer on the brush, and then I just go into the sidewall. I'm careful not to scratch the wheels with this brush. It's a very stiff brush. And I like to go up on this edge here, just for the sake of appearance, because on these lifted vehicles, it just shows more. So the more of the sidewall you can get, the better. So really just get in there and be thorough. There we go. And you can see there's a bunch of dirt all on the bristles. You want to pressure wash that out before you use it again or return it back to the garage. The next step is either the face or the wells. I like to do the wells just because when you're getting the wells, a lot of it cleans these areas. So if you do the wheels and then the wells and it just cleans this, you might as well do the wells first and get a head start to just, save time. I've actually got 2 of these brushes. This one is the angled brush from Adams Polishes. It's a soft woolly brush. It's angled to get, around the crevices and stuff. I've also got this from Relentless Drive. I also got an easy detail brush, but this one's pretty small. It goes into the brakes. It's a stiff bristle for brake calipers and all the tight areas that the Adams won't get into. So I just kind of go in, I turn the nozzle, really get every crevice. And then I spray a little here. And I like to start from the top just because it works its way down, so I like to work with gravity. Just get it around every little edge. You can also angle it like this to get behind these spokes. It's not perfect. It's no wheels off detailing where the wheel is off and you're getting everything, but the more thorough you can be, the better. I always like to cross work, so if I'm doing this spoke here and I turn there, I like to go back here and redo there so I'm extra sure that no spots were missed, just to make sure. And you can see all of that crud just coming right off. So I'll cross like that, really get behind the spoke. And this is the part of the well where I'm really locked out. So I'll take the bristle one, and that can squeeze its way in. Also, you can do this with any brake caliper, but you should especially do this if you have painted brake calipers, like red ones or blue ones. take a nice brush. This is a boar's hair brush. It won't really show on these like cast iron ones, so normal economy cars you don't have to do this. It doesn't make a difference, but I'm just showcasing for the sake of the video. Get in there and really shine up the paint on the caliper, because painted calipers are just like paint on wheels, paint on the body. It's clear coat and you just want to make sure that's clean. So go in like that. Now with the wells done and the tire done, all that's left is the face of the wheel and the lugs. So that's where this brush comes in. This is the only area where you have an option for tools. You can go in with a brush and do this whole area, or what some people like to do is take a dedicated mitt and use that on the wheels. It makes the job a little quicker. Mitts are pretty great, but brushes are for the really tight corners and grooves and spaces that you can't really reach with a mitt. So I use a combination of the two. So I'll start with the inside lugs. Really get this everywhere. Spray a little in there, though you don't have to. I just rotate those bristles and it really makes a difference. You can see this black lug. Some of them just turn crazy silver. This one is real hard to see, but there's some bits of silver showing. Like some of that black surface is melting off. The more I rub it, the more of it seems to come off. Yeah, look at that. It's all silver now, and these ones are just black. I wouldn't go to the effort of lifting the car, taking the wheels off, and polishing the lugs unless this was a more serious job. That's totally possible. If you want to take it that far, by all means. Lug nuts, especially shiny ones, are an important detail. They really make wheels pop. Go in there like that. And I guess for the tight spots here, I'll keep the brush like so. And also, it's important to sit down like this. If you're crouching on your knees and your knees are bent, you're going to have a real tough time with your body, because you've got 3 more of these wheels to do. This can take you over a half hour, so it's a lot of work, but it's very worth it. Wheels and tires are super important to address. And it's important to be as comfortable as possible doing this, because your body can really suffer. Your legs won't be able to handle just crouching like that, so I like to just sit like that, or sometimes crisscross applesauce. Whatever is best. Always get around the pressure stem here. That's touched a lot. Once the foam begins to dry up, I always spray a little more just to reactivate the soap. Get it working hard again. Alright, and here, for the larger areas, is where I'd take a mitt and really just speed this up. I can also use the tip of my finger here and just press into corners and edges so that I don't have to get the brush again. But I also like to grab around the spoke, be extra sure that I got it. But you just want to be thorough. There's no race. There's no need to be quick. You should devote plenty of time to doing this. Always get around the rim here too, the point between the tire and the wheel. It's easy to lose focus while doing wheels and forget to do certain spots. You should start at one point and go around it in a circle to that point. I know I wasn't just doing that, but if you struggle with like keeping track of where you've been and what you've covered, that is a useful strategy. Just get in everything. Alright. And that should be everything. Some people like to take a long brush and kind of go into the well. If it's not terribly dirty, I don't do that. I just rinse really well. But it depends on the car. If it's a crazy off-roader with mud in there, I'll totally go for it. If it's just an everyday street car that just, you know, needs basic washing, I just rinse. That's good enough. But now we're going to go ahead and rinse. I missed a spot there, I just wiped it. Even with practice, it's easy to miss spots here. Also, I like to take the nozzle and angle it like that. Angle it carefully, of course, just to, rinse the wells. And there you go. I always look over to make sure I didn't miss anything. But overall, that's pretty good. I can always do a squeak test. But I mean, look at that. That tire's prepped, ready for a tire shine. These wheels, if you want to, you can get a sealant going. I'll actually demonstrate that. So depending on your scenario, some customers want this, some don't. This is CarPro Hydro 2. It's diluted, I believe 6:1. I forgot the ratio, but you spray it on and rinse it off. Very great wheel-based sealant / protection. So it goes on the wheel wet after you've cleaned it, and then you just kind of do a light mist. Make sure to get in the crevices. Like that. And then you rinse. So you can now see great water beading off of the wheel. It's all protected and it'll last about a month or two. So that is pretty much it to doing wheels and tires. There are a few variations from how that formula works, like big giant off-roading tires. I guess you take a bigger brush. I actually apply some tire shine with this giant thing on those massive tires. But aside from that, I mean, wheel wells, the wheels, the barrels, that's all standard procedure on sports cars, SUVs, sedans. It really doesn't change. So congratulations, you just learned how to do everything you need to maintain your wheels. Clean them, prep them, make sure they're perfect, ready for a coating, ready for protection, the spray sealant. And I mean, you're above 90% of the cut. Perfect wheels and tires are really what set you apart. So thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video. Peace.